Our tech can be super useful for our self-care when used correctly, which most of us admittedly are not. While these devices are great at monitoring our health and things like accessing our workouts and meditation exercises, it won't do those good things for us unless we're actively including them in our routines. Hi everyone, I'm Kirsten, but if you want to be BFFs, you can call me Kay, and subscribe to the channel where I post weekly on digital planning, iPad creativity, and living your best life while still getting things done. Of course, you can follow me over on Instagram for daily content. Instead of letting our devices interfere with other spheres of our lives, we need to set certain boundaries for those devices and how we use them, like leaving them in another room while we are in deep focus or are working on projects and assignments. And some of us may need to delete or remove apps entirely that are affecting our mental health. But today, I want to share ways that you can use your device for good, for your own self-care. You'll just need to do a little bit of work up front to set up these features on your devices or make a habit of implementing them into your self-care routines. So let's jump into it, shall we? Alright, so the stuff I'm covering can apply to your phone, your watch, your computers, or tablets, and I'm going to show you some really cool features that you can do if you have an iPhone or an iPad and an Apple Watch. I just love how seamless and interconnected everything is in the Apple ecosystem, and it just makes tracking self-care and personal health so much easier across all of those devices. So the first thing is kind of obvious, and it's to take a look at your screen time, but like actually taking a look at the insights it provides. You still don't want the device itself to break the boundaries you set. As much as we love our tech and as useful as it can be when personalized for our individual goals and strengths, our eyes need a break. Our brains need a break. It is really easy to consume so much and be overstimulated, making it difficult to sit and read a book or complete an assignment. Your screen time tells you how often you picked up your phone, what apps you most often turn to the second you picked up your phone, how long you are spending in each app. It's one thing to notice, okay, I spent 5 hours on Instagram today, I should limit how often I use Instagram when using screen time, but it's going to be more beneficial for you to really dig into those insights and notice exactly what times you're turning to those apps, piece together your week, and find out really when you found yourself turning to those apps, because then you can develop a more detailed action to combat it. And actually taking the time to set up app limits and restrictions for yourself. While these devices can solve a lot of our problems and provide us with some much needed breaks in self-care, I did want to point out this feature because too many screens in any capacity isn't great for us, even if we are doing great things on those screens. I stop using screens at least an hour before bed and until my hardest task of the day is accomplished the next morning. If you have to use your devices at night though, or maybe you have a dark office space like I do, make sure you have night mode and true tone turned on across all your Apple devices. At a certain time of the day, your screen will turn to a dark orangey yellowy color that is better on your eyes than the white bluish light that is normally emitted. So this tip is geared more toward my phone, but I like using the bedtime feature. I've been using it for a while now and have seen great results. With bedtime enabled on my phone, I can set a sleep goal and then a wind down period, and so during the wind down period, the phone will silence any notifications until I can check them in the morning. It also doesn't have such a triggering alarm for morning wake up times, so you'll wake up with a bit more of a peaceful tune. Similar to using these devices for better sleep, there are apps that I like to use like Auto Sleep and Sleep Cycle on my phone that also works synchronously with my Apple Watch to track the quality of my sleep, how often I am tossing and turning, and when it's best for me to wake up during the interval that my alarm is set. That way I'm not being woken up during deep sleep. The phone and watch also pair well when you're tracking your health over time. I'm honestly blown away by all the great notifications you can get about your personal health and self-care. So on my phone, I have it set to alert me if my heart beats irregularly or if my headphones are too loud. And it also obviously tracks my steps and activity in conjunction with my Apple Watch. So of course, everyone's goal is to close their Apple Watch rings, but Apple made it fun to get active by offering challenges, getting these little awards, and keeping up with your friends and family. You can also link up your medical records to your phone and your health history, which as an EMT, we are now trained to be able to access this information with implied and informed consent laws to treat patients if we can't gather from the patient what's actually going on. So these features are super, super important. I also like being able to track my cycle, which my phone pulls from an app that I use called Clue. It makes it really helpful anytime I need to go into my doctor's appointments. Overall, we can easily set up our devices for health automation. It is great for seeing health over time, and it's a much easier method of documentation, easier to see trends, and we can choose exactly what and how we want it documented using a lot of different views and formats and apps and UIs. We can essentially find an aesthetic, if you will, that we like. But self-care can be hard work. A lot of times it means doing a task that is difficult to do, but we know that we need to do to set ourselves up better in the long run. So we can use our devices for more literal purposes. For instance, you can use it for a Pomodoro timer, for meditation, or class assignments. I like to have my timers actually count up because I find that I'm always trying to shoot for a higher time when I work. Downloading apps to help you budget and manage your finances, especially if one of your goals is to get better at money management, is also an act of self-care, taking those steps ahead of time to ensure that you aren't stressed and burnt out later. More literal forms of self-care can include using widgets to display your favorite images or to create affirmations and quotes that can be a great way to remind yourself of your beauty, your intelligence, and your willpower every time you pick up your device. I also really like journaling on my iPad using a keyboard. There are apps like Jor that use cognitive behavioral therapy in their prompts and exercises. And then there's other apps like Day One and Grid Diary, which allow you to answer random but also fun prompts to get your thoughts on paper, or digital paper, if you will. You can also create pictures or audio from that day or maps if you're traveling. And it's just a really cool way to stay connected with yourself and what happened that day. Similarly, there is the Choral App for journaling and other exercises, more so for falling more in love with your body and intimacy. And it's apps like these that can provide transformative results if implemented frequently into our routines. Since we already use our devices so much as it is, it only makes sense to incorporate a little bit of self-care from them as well. I'm going to end this video with two of my favorite ways to practice self-care, specifically on my iPad, and that's to use my digital planner and Procreate for coloring and drawing. In my digital planner, I can track my habits, and I track more than just the habits I'm trying to start, but everything that I do on a daily basis. It's easier to see trends that way. For instance, maybe on days where I marked that I studied, I didn't mark that I exercised, and different trends like that where I can compare when habits are more likely to occur with things I already do on a daily basis. I also use a bunch of different goal setting pages in my digital planner, keeping track of my bigger goals of the year or next, as well as smaller goals like exercise 3 days a week or learn a new recipe a month. And of course, you can use your devices for coloring pages and artwork. There's apps you can download for coloring, but honestly, I love using Procreate and sitting down in front of a tutorial or just playing around with the many brushes they have to relieve some stress. That's all I have for you for now. As always, I am so grateful that you watched this video all the way through. It really does help me grow and get my content in front of the people who need it most. Comment down below how you are using your devices already for self-care or personal health. And if you aren't already, let me know what you hope to implement into your own life from this video. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!
We stand on the opposite shore. Hello.